He has a slide.
Hey, if you're watching online, this is the
the whole thing?
meeting,
Okay.
and it is freezing. So, but it's wonderful and festive here. Please welcome to the floor to start the meeting for real, Joel Cha.
All right, so I guess we need to do the slides in tandem. So next slide. Yeah, okay, we're good? All right.
Nope.
Quick agenda. You're one step ahead, Taylor. We'll get this, promise. It's a small turnout today, so any parents that are here are not allowed to leave because we need quorum to vote on some budget stuff.
What is the quorum for the record?
Like 8? What, 6?
2 board members.
We've got plenty of board members.
6 parents.
We need 6 parents. We have 8 right now.
We got 1 on the.
Yeah. 8, I counted Layla, so 8 total. Yeah. And there's a lot of slides. It's funny because I'm gonna make a pitch for people to participate in the PTA. To the people who are already participating. Next slide, please. Why PTA? I'm gonna skip this because I think everybody knows.
We have one new parent.
We do. Thank you for coming. All right,
One
I'll
of
go through
us.
it then.
One of
Okay. It's because we foster community with our eyes on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and everything that we do. We do a ton of funding toward the programs for the kids and in support of our community. And we want to inform and support families, teachers, staff, admin. You can see our budget currently is at $253,000. That's what we're hoping to raise for this year. We're well on our way. Examples of what we actually do are in these photos here. Next slide. These are the elected board members up top. There's their friendly faces. We also have a bunch of committees targeting specific initiatives and ways to support our community. The ones that are highlighted right now are the active ones, you could call it, even though some of them are always active. But it's spring, so we're going to see Spring Social, World Culture Night, and this ramp up for school supplies for the fall. Yes, we're already talking about the fall next year, which we will definitely get into more. Next slide, please. Calendar of events. This is a look at April and May. What are we calling May now? Marvelous May?
Marvelous May.
Yeah, it is action packed.
Manic
Yeah,
May.
we're kicking off with a dance. What's the show called? Dance Showcase. Dance Showcase. That's right. Which is a great name. Please ignore my work teams. Yeah. Yes. So kicking off with that, and then ending with World Culture Night and everything in between. Packed. Next slide. Oh, and you can get to this calendar on the website, on the PS 133 School One's website.
You can subscribe to it in your phone too, and there's a link in the chat.
Yep. All right. Ideas and how they become reality. Come to the PTA. Oh, you were already in the PTA, just in case you didn't realize. Just start talking about your ideas, what you think you want, what changes, how you can support the kids, and then roll up your sleeves and be ready to work. And then we'll see about getting it done. It's everything's by committee, so nothing gets decided unilaterally. But I think we're pretty efficient as far as churning out actual tangible things for the community. So we get it done. Next slide. Approval of the minutes from last meeting. They're posted on our website. I'm going to go ahead and motion that we approve those minutes.
Second that motion.
Second.
Great. Anybody opposed? Good, we'll go with it. Principals report. I believe Ms. McGee is going to be giving that. And go to the next slide as well. Got her own slide here.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello.
And this is the Good Morning Families.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So two topics. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So first, just want to lift and bring back. So last month, you may have, well, you should not may have, you should have received this green envelope, green and white envelope. It is the New York City School Survey. Each family received one. The deadline has been extended to this Friday, which is April 11th. So we just really want to impress upon, if you have not had the chance to fill out your survey, please do so. It is extremely important because the information we get from it helps us to support you and your students around everything from curriculum to safety to, activities going on in the school. So please, 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 if you have already filled it out, tell your friend, hey, did you fill out your survey? Okay. So the deadline has been extended to April 11th. Right now, we only have a 36% return, and we have over 600 families. So that's a third of our families that have completed the survey. So please, just really want to impress upon you to fill out the survey. Once again, it's nycschoolsurvey.org.
That piece of paper went home on February 10th. And if they haven't filled it out, it might be lost by now. So it's the online is, yeah.
Yes, so if you have misplaced this actual form, just go to the website and you could take it online. Okay,
Got it.
yes,
How does it benefit the school to have the survey?
in the sense that we use the information to, see how we can better, as far as curriculum, activities, any types around safety. So that's how the information that we gain from it helps the school.
And what if I have a problem with my NYCSA account?
Okay, then you can see Mr. D to support you. All right, and fill out the form if you have any problems with that. But please, once again, if you've already completed, just remind your friend, hey, did you fill out your survey? All right, we have 2 more days. Okay.
Right.
And the next item is, so PFLAG has been working with the staff on supporting the staff, or just around conversations on students who may, be different or identify differently. So we're having a conversation on May 5th at 4 p.m. So we definitely would like you to come out and support us in that conversation. Ms. Otterman will send out a post, an email, just to follow up. So please, if you're able to, definitely come out and support us in that, yes.
Can you tell everyone who PFLAG are?
I'm
Can you tell
sorry,
everyone who PFLAG are?
Oh, so PFLAG is a all around diversity around families that may be, or students that may be identified different, with their gender and with their sexuality. And once again, they have been working with the staff and having these conversations around how to support our students. Okay.
Does the Pride Committee know about this?
I believe yes.
Heather told me that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
4 people in the waiting room.
Thank you. Wait till everybody's admitted, so I talk to them.
Right.
For those of you who just joined, welcome to the meet
We're live.
of PTA meeting, where I ask you to join our board. The slide up here outlines the number of positions that we have. You can see that there are elected and non-elected positions. Focus probably more on the elected ones for now. But there are proposed additional elected board positions. And the reason why we are essentially proposing to double the number of seats on the board is because we want more faces. We want more diversity and inclusion on the board. So we're trying to create more opportunities for there to be diversity and inclusion. Sometimes a role seems like it's too big to take on. If the VP of community seems very daunting, and honestly, if you looked at the bylaws description of what it was, it's insane. But Now we're proposing that there are deputy positions, so we break it up in smaller chunks. And know that you'll always be supported. Nothing that you take on means it's just you. And just because you're taking on a role, doesn't mean that's all you get to do. No, you get to volunteer for all the things, the smorgasbord of PTA things across all areas. The other thing I want to highlight is the liaison roles. Historically, the PTA had upper grade and lower grade liaisons. And in my 3 years here, I've never actually seen those filled. COVID interrupted a bunch of stuff, so perhaps it was strong before that. The board discussed restructuring that and doing the liaisons by program to make sure, again, that there's inclusion in the discussion and diversity in our considerations. So if every program has a face and a voice, somebody to speak for them, somebody to help communicate PTA news in both directions. Next slide, please. I hit on a lot of these points. There are 3 QR codes and an email address on this slide. Apologies. But first, the proposed bylaws, putting it out there into the world. We won't be voting on these changes, which essentially are the new roles and the restructuring of some of the current roles until June, until election. Right before we elect the people we're proposing to elect, we'll hopefully sign off and agree that the role should exist. So we got 2 months. Send me feedback at ptapresident@ps133.org. Track me down, and we'll incorporate the feedback. The roles, so bottom corner, bottom left corner, the roles are posted on our website. Sometimes they're just bullet pointed. I think a lot of it is excerpts from the actual bylaws, proposed updates to the bylaws. So you don't have to memorize the slideshow. You can just go to the website. If you know somebody who wants to take on a role, somebody who you think would be good for it, maybe you are curious, nominations@ps133.org, please email that email address. If you want to serve on the nominations committee, which essentially is just making sure that we follow the rules, that we're neutral, there's no puppet master stringing where the current board tries to stay in power forever. Like, I don't think any of us actually want that. So neutral party, help us recruit, help us make sure we're following. We're not going to fill the non-mandatory roles just for the sake of filling. So we created this slew of positions to allow for the potential and possibility of more voices. If they don't get filled, we're not gonna just fill it for the sake of filling.
Right.
And the last bit there, I keep saying equity and inclusion. I'm just gonna say it one more time. Equity and inclusion. Next slide. Okay, so how's everyone doing?
Right.
Okay, I think we got 16 slides or so. President, mandatory position. Without president, we can't have a PTA. This is a quote I made last year. The requirements of the role are pretty straightforward, and I'm going to call it minimal. Like, you need to go to meetings and such. How much more you do from that is up to the individual. And yeah, I took on a lot because I'm a nerd about this type of stuff, but you don't have to be. You just have to do this and then figure out how you fit into the bigger puzzle. There. Next role. Treasurer, mandatory position. This one is a bit more structured. You have to follow specific rules, like file your taxes and, don't break the law, stuff like that. But you have experts. You'll have people who've done the role before. You'll have an accountant, so you don't have to do it as well. But if you come in with knowledge, that's always helpful. Next one. Recording secretary, mandatory position. These are the 3 mandatory positions that we need to actually have today. This has been Michael for 3 years. He would be thrilled if somebody took it over because our terms are limited to 2 years. You record the minutes, essentially. That's the key thing. There are other aspects to the role as well, but really it's recording the minutes and posting them to make sure everybody who missed the meeting sees the official record. Next one. Deputy treasurer supports the treasurer. Specific things that we're asking them to do are manage our deposits. Sometimes we get sloppy about that. We want a good cadence. Monica Lorza has been fantastic about keeping us on task with getting the money into the bank, which has been great. Yes, and just essentially taking on whatever other tasks are helpful to the treasury, but then across the board, how she can, or they can help support all areas of PTA. Next slide. Vice President of Community. All right. This is
That's a two slides for that.
there's one slide for this one and deputy roles now. If you think about community and how big of an umbrella that is, it's internal to the school, external. It's the events. It's the liaising with other people in the district, going to the CEC, supporting our community where it feels like the need for support is there. There's so much. And it has been, this was originally one long run-on sentence in the bylaws. And I was like, oh my goodness, how can anybody, one person possibly take all this on? So we created deputy roles.
A bunch, right?
3 deputy roles for community. So
But there'll still be this person.
there'll still be this person and 3 deputy roles. So no, if you take on community, you're not alone. I can't imagine anybody ever being alone with community because it's impossible. It's the biggest thing we try to make an impact on. So here's the first deputy. Sorry for my teams. It automatically starts on my computer and like my day starts. Events, obviously, put on a lot of events. There are some examples of the events that we do. We have an eye on creating new events that are reaching parts of our community that have not been able to come to the ones that we have here. Sometimes that means it's the time of day, childcare, weekends, weekdays, it's that type of thing, the nature of the event. So, exploring that a little bit. With more hands working on this, we hope to accomplish that. Next slide. Community resources. So we've got a bunch of really great ideas. Some committees, the Learning Diversity Committee being one, it's fantastic. It was in a lull for a moment, and then it had this rebirth. And this year, I feel like it's so strong. So it's throwing more people at this community need, where learning diversity is an example, Pride Committee is an example. Charisma had an idea about a community store where everything's actually free. So it's things like toiletries, maybe backpacks, socks, things that are sort of outside the immediate circle of academia, but really distract the kids from learning. Like if we can help round out their support, where if they need something, they can just pop in, grab a whatever, and focus on being in an elementary school instead. So again, would love to build this up, and we hope that the deputy role here does that. 1, 2. There was one other one that
There was the external facing one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I must have missed that slide, but the community liaison, I may have just Yeah, I did these slides last night, overnight, so I'll just say community, district community, deputy vice president of district community is the title. I made it up. If you've got a better one, feel free to tell me. But it's essentially liaising with the district. So you go to the CEC meetings, the CEC 13, maybe even 15. You talk to our community leaders. You talk to people who can influence policy. You talk to other schools and PTAs about like what works for them. And you bring that back to us. And you also share what we're doing great with our community. That's the gist of it. Vice President of Student Enrichment. This was new last year. It's essentially all of the vast majority of the money that the PTA raises goes into student enrichment. And this person essentially will be the plug into the board to talk about the needs, more specifically of these committees you can see on the slide. And make sure that they have a voice too. Next slide. Deputy VP of Extended Day. A couple of years ago, there was a vice president of Extended Day. This went along with Play Lab, which everybody tells me was amazing. I wasn't here for that. COVID, again, decimated things. We are taking a new strategy with using third-party providers rather than trying to solve it in-house. And we think we got something going here. You can see that there's an example, a bunch of providers named in the blurb. We need help managing those providers and then also helping with family members who need to plug in to these programs. And what else can we do? So exploring if there's anything better out there, and how else can we provide after school care for all? I like the way that sounds. It's a dream, lofty dream. Let's see if we can make it reality. Vice President of Class Parent Coordination. So there was a class parent liaison. Layla is the reigning queen. She's been amazing. She has volunteered her time to come to our executive board meetings. So I'm thinking like how valuable her voice has been and in the community landscape, we should just make it official. Like she's a board member. This is a voice at the table, or whoever fills the role.
Right.
It's a voice at the table. Vice President of Development, the fundraising, all the money that comes in. Again, it seems overwhelming and daunting, but you're not alone. Geneva is the current VP of Development. She's amazing. She's doing community stuff. She's into it. She's doing an extended day over there. She's into it. She's a superstar. But also support comes from the committee, from other volunteers, people who are not named, who don't have a specific role, and they take on big chunks of these initiatives that you see on the slide. So you won't be alone. And in fact, next slide, please. There will be a deputy, hopefully, somebody to step up and say like, yes, I will take on some of this responsibility. What exactly? You guys discuss it, figure out how you want to split it up. But it's a voice at the table. Again, another seat, another opportunity for you to represent. Next slide. Commissioner of Communications, Dale Romali. He is at the end of his 2 years, just like I'm at the end of my 2 years. He's taken on so much. I've rewritten the bylaws for it. These are the cliff notes. But it is a huge umbrella of stuff. How much you can take on, you just sort of prioritize, but you know that there is a committee. There are volunteers, people who step up and try to help out. Yeah, like Dustin right here on the controls. Pointing this way as an example. Next slide. Oh, that's not the one I was expecting. I thought there was.
Where's my deputy of discourse?
Go to the next one. One more. I don't know, I'm missing slides for some reason. I swear I did them last night. But there is a deputy of discourse, which I call correspondence secretary, which I guess is too boring. Which I'm fine with. The flashy titles get you in. I know. Somebody to help with essentially making sure that the flyers get up for the PTA meetings. You know, the lobby screen that we've got now. It's pretty smooth and automated. Amanda figured it out. So somebody to help monitor that, somebody to help with the zooming of the Zooms. And some
WhatsApp groups.
WhatsApp groups, yeah. That is the deputy of discourse. Okay.
Or disco deputy.
Disco deputy. Good slide. All right, school leadership team, I didn't actually mention yet. This is not a PTA thing specifically. They have their own bylaws. It's their own group that is also regulated by the DOE. Every school needs to have a student leadership team that plugs in with the admin. There are 5 parent representatives and an equal number of school representatives, so teachers and admin essentially. And together, think of it as sort of a think tank to help shape the curriculum, CEP, right? The comprehensive education plan, that's right. I was like, what's the C? Community? No. Comprehensive education.
So we set our goals as a school community, we progress monitor our goals, and we sit and make real plans. And then check on them.
It's 1 meeting per month. Yes. And a great way to plug in to understand the sausage making. This is a term that I hear a lot. Like what actually makes a school click? Yeah. The one thing that I learned and was shocked about last year is that the DOE buys curriculums from third-party vendors. Like we can't just be like, oh, let's teach about pumpkins. It's like, oh no, like, is it part of the agreed upon curriculum as purchased by the DOE or whatever? Oh my God. So this is a great way to plug into that. There are 2 positions that are opening up. It's a 2-year term. So just 2 open positions going into the next school year. Next, program liaisons I talked about earlier. Just to reiterate, you could be the voice of representation that you wish for. Next. Okay, whew, I'm done.
You're done. Take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Thanks.
I don't have much to say, except that Marvelous May is coming up. Everybody take a breath. I'm trying to limit the number of Parent Square messages that everybody gets to something less than 300. Just 300 per day is my limit. I'm looking for somebody to be, I've never gotten, Robert Rodney knows Parent Square. I know it. If you need to, you can go in and, but we need somebody to be the next person who knows Parent Square in and out. We got some great Canva designers. I give them out to various committees that do work. I would love to turn over the newsletter to somebody for whom that is their job. And Pastor John, I want to talk to you later about the June bake sale. Pastor John runs the Apostles Church. Sorry if I'm taking your encomium that you were going to give to him. I told you to give him a shout out, and then I'm going to do it. When did you decide, oh, you know what a real neighbor would do? I'll get up and go to the meeting on Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here and for everything that you've helped out. And I'm sure Yoko will thank you as well. That's it for comms. We have a new, you may have seen on Parent Square, the administration sent out a new media release form. We're working on it. We're testing it. We're trying things out. And more on that coming later. All right, thank you.
Oh, am I doing that?
Oh,
You can do that.
you want to talk about it? If you went to the comedy show last Wednesday, it was fantastic, put together by Ophira Eisenberg. All the comedians had kids, and 2 of them had kids in this school. And like IVF became a running joke. And it was, I don't go to a whole lot of comedy shows, but Ophira said, every one of these is a headlining comedian. It was a wonderful show. And for that, Amanda was helping with a lot of the tickets on the back end. And, but for putting that together, Ophira gets the volunteer spotlight of the month. And we went to a Nets game on Sunday. You're watching, if I said you this was your moment to shine. And I said to Ophira, hey, you're gonna get the volunteer spotlight of the month. She's like, was it for my work on the comedy show or something else that I did? It's done nothing else.
Yoko.
Well, say first, update the system.
Oh.
First, you can come up to. Hi, I'm Yoko, and this is Lewis. And we are the co-VPs of community, as Joel said earlier, a huge umbrella responsibility for our school, but we want to continue to grow it and make it bigger so that we can have bigger, stronger events, thanks to the partnership with the Apostles Church and the volunteers who are going to help us at a very special event coming up in May called World Culture Night. Do we have a slide for World Culture Night? We do. Good. I didn't even look at this stuff. Oh, but before that, yeah, become a deputy, like Joel said. These are all the things that deputies can help to do in our community. Let's keep rolling. All right, you want to talk about World Culture Night?
Yes. World Culture Night is our yearly event celebrating our school's diversity. And so we want everyone to participate. We need everyone to participate. There's tons to do. Some of the things listed here, you know, and now would be a great time to join because there's lots of organizing. And, you know, it takes all of us to put that show on. It's free of charge. It's open to parents and of course, all of our children. It happens in the schoolyard. And so there's a lot of, you know, prep that goes into it, working with vendors to provide food. Some families prepare their own food and donate. We need to set up for the party. We need to manage the garbage. We need to, you know, clean up afterwards, set out tables, you know, provide snacks and drinks, ice, which is always, you know, a big responsibility. So, you know, there's lots to do. And we ask you before we start, you know, getting closer to the date and start demanding that you volunteer, right? And so we're looking forward to that, you know, to that event. It happens Thursday, May 29th, between 5 and 8 p.m. And, you know, it's always a ball. It's always a blast.
I will say that it's an excellent starter volunteer, just like a bake sale, it's an excellent starter volunteer role because we know how to run World Culture Night. We just need bodies. So if you're the type of person who says like, I don't have ideas, I don't know how to manage something, but I can be told what to do and I can execute that, perfect. Come and be a task executor for us, and there will be lots to do. Thank you. Next one. Prisma, you want to jump up? Good.
Hello.
Hello.
So we have our next amazing meeting coming up, and I wanted to say thank you to the staff, the teachers, and all you parents that helped create our beautiful butterfly interior design, which definitely shows a lot of growth, especially from where we started last year to this year, and just bringing more awareness of what is the change and what is more conversation to happen in general that needs to happen. So we all learn the different diversities
And for anyone who's not sure what this is, if you have a child who learns differently and either receives educational support or you provide other supports at home, come be in community with other parents who get it. We all get what it feels like to have a child that learns differently and has to sometimes square peg round hole into this world. And so Autism Acceptance Month is April. And so this is the projects that Charisma was referring to. So if you see it in the hall, know that this is done by our wonderful learning diversity community.
Yes. And if you have information that can help us keep building our community and helping families that have children with disabilities, visible and invisible, that is also great and needed. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, there's a follow-up, sorry.
Great, these are the pictures of the said projects. So much visibility, look at that, love it. Thanks Diana as well for keeping the charge on some of those projects. Okay, great. That's it from community, come join us. Oh, I was gonna say as well, last night, some of the parents here and I went to the District 13 Anti-Racist Town Hall, a really, really great opportunity if you are both kind of politically and socially and locally motivated to try and make change for your community. It doesn't need to just necessarily be in the school. You can be in community and conversation with many, many people in other schools. And there were teachers there were principals, there were parents, all kind of discussing this very nuanced and important topic of how to continue the anti-racism work under challenging environment. So thank you so much. And if you want to learn more about those talks, I will post up the flyer of the next one. Food is wonderful, childcare is amazing, and a great sense of community spirit. Great.
Thank you, Yoko.
Oh, Pride Committee, can you do this one too?
I think do this one. Okay. On April 29th, our wonderful Rainbow Club is going to have a, not just our school, but all community, our local community schools gathering in our garden. And we will be celebrating our Rainbow Club families, LGBTQ plus families and kids in the garden, and also people who are just motivated allies. So also there is we're looking to set a date for the Pride event in June for the Pride Social. Last year we did a wonderful parade down Fifth Avenue with our homemade flags and banners, which was beautiful. So if you would like to join that group or are interested in kind of joining the conversation more, also Heather reminded us this morning that there is a PFLAG training or
It's a workshop for families.
workshop for families on May 4th. I will post more information about
First
that.
Monday.
Perfect. All right. That's it.
Yes.
Hi. Hey everybody, we're the garden committee. Let's see. So for starters, if you guys have not seen our new garden signage, it is absolutely beautiful. We might be partial, but it's gorgeous. It hangs right outside the garden and it really highlights, the importance of planting natives, which our garden really focuses on. And then we also have one side of the poster, which is going to be seasonal. And that really just speaks to whatever's blooming in the garden at that moment and kind of like the why behind, why we have those plants, even what bugs they support and how they support the overall kind of ecosystem in our community, which is really lovely. Let's see, we also had our first garden work day last weekend. It was cold, it was rainy, but we had so many people come out to volunteer. Huge thanks to you guys. You did a lot of work. I would consider it a huge success. Yeah. So
so many people came out on a rainy day, so thank you.
It was amazing. We broke down, on the east side of the garden, we had that runs along the wall. We had this huge collapsing planter that really just needed to go. So we were able to break that down. And
Does the garden feel
some-
bigger now?
The garden, it's weird. It's kind of like when you take your Christmas tree down and it's like, you have more room, but it's sad. Yeah. But the good news is that we have more grant money to use. So we will, in the coming months, be able to fill up that space with nice, shiny new planters. volunteers, which would be
Yes.
wonderful. And we will need more help to do that. So please continue to volunteer with us. We're gonna be getting out the garden workday dates in the coming weeks. Like by spring break, we'll have all of our garden work days, I would say, kind of mapped out so that you guys will know when we have the opportunity to come help us again. What else? Oh, speaking of that, we will also have our Brooklyn Seeds work days out, right? The class
Yes,
dates.
it's Brooklyn Kids Classic. They're starting in
May, the beginning of May. So we will make
Yes.
sure to get all of those dates up on Parent Square so that you guys can sign up to volunteer for that.
And Iman, like, it was telling us, like, please ask for volunteers. Like, we love it when parents come to volunteer to, help out with those classes. So it's a great opportunity too. I know parents who have done it have said like, it's amazing. Like, it is really amazing to kind of see the work
It's
they do
very
in the
fun.
garden and see how much the kids respond to it.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
sweet. I love it too.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have open garden on Fridays at at drop off. So now that the
Pickup.
weather is, oh no, yes. I said
Afternoon,
right
in
the
the
first time,
afternoon.
Yes, at pickup in the afternoon. If you guys want to come and hang out in the garden, let your kids run around, sit and chat. We will always kind of be there for that too, whenever it's a nice sunny day.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that's about it.
Yeah. And also, Ms. McGee, we should get something in the buzz again about the garden being available. Sorry to interrupt. But we just got an email from Ms. Vico asking about using the garden. And I think now that the weather's getting better, we want to encourage all classes to come out to the garden. If you want to talk to your teacher about like planning an activity with them in the garden, we got a seed donation from Hudson Valley Seed Company. If you want to do some planting or anything else, just reach out to us. We have lots of ideas. And we would love to help you plan something for your class and get more kids out in the garden. Good? Okay.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I guess we can't hear if May is on or not. Do you see May? No. Okay. Grants. I'll just speak first. Second cycle is up. That is open for teachers to apply for grants, PTA money. Encourage your teachers to do so. Sometimes they actually need help filling out the application, but if they need something and you know it, encourage them to apply. Good, excellent. Extended day.
Hi, everyone. Just
Hello.
giving an update on extended day / after school. We're at the point of the year where we're looking ahead to next year. So we'll be communicating about a program that we'll trying to bring in next year called Team. You can see over on the side of the screen, sort of like what makes Team different. It's a very affordable STEM-based after-school program that we're hoping to bring in to basically supplement and fill a gap in our current after-school offerings. So be on the lookout for more information here. We'll do sort of a, probably a virtual sort of, whatever you want to call it, like session with them where they come and talk about the program and folks can ask questions and understand from some current parents at other schools sort of how the program works and how they like it. That'll happen after spring break, and then shortly after that, there'll be registration open again for the fall. Spring break is coming up, so just would encourage you to look at the spring or the guide to school break camps. Talk this way. Talk this way. Sorry. Oh, I can. So yeah, we have this great guide that just helps you figure out if you need camps for days off. We're almost there. We've got spring break and then a few more for the end of the year. I think that's it.
Anybody on for?
University.
No.
Were you supposed to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We have the literacy committee, they have a meeting coming up. Sorry, I didn't get to. It was warm. Ta-da. So they have a meeting coming up May 9th at 9 a.m. on Zoom, so you can meet it. That's always a great opportunity. Also, they have someone coming in for the upper grades, which is great because us upper grades want all the action too. So we have someone coming in to speak to them, let them know about the amazing work that's happening. Thank you to Brooklyn Bodega for all their amazing books that they gave us, and we was able to fill up the cart upstairs, our free cart, for all the students to be able to take a book home and be able to read and share with everyone else. And also, they are in need of some more people to join, which is, it's a great committee to be part of. I'm so thankful that I get to be part of that WhatsApp group. Right, Mr. Taylor?
Sir. Yes, ma'am.
It's definitely conversations that is important to happen and how much important reading is for children. So please join that group. Don't forget to Zoom in for the meeting. Thank you.
Performing arts.
Hi.
Hello.
There are lots of shows coming up and help is needed. So the dancers are having their first ever dance showcase coming up on May 1st, which is very exciting. A cast of 60 dancers.
Wow.
So we are in need of volunteers, both, the May 1st is the public performance, but there's also going to be one just for the school community on the 5th. So help is needed for corralling all of these dancers and supporting backstage, supporting the front. The Little Mermaid is coming mid-month. We are working on the playbill. We need more help getting everything together, selling ads, working front of house, supporting backstage. Playbill ads, please talk to me, send an email to Performing Arts. If you know someone, if you yourself have a business and you'd like to put an ad in the playbill, we have 2 playbills now, both for the dance show and for the theater show. So please spread the word and help us raise money for the Performing Arts.
I think that's a Parent Square post. Let's talk.
Let's talk, yeah. And we are meeting this Friday in here. So if you have the capacity to help support, want to hear more about it, please come join us and or just message us, because there's lots going on.
Link to join the WhatsApp group in the chat.
Okay, well, my cool slide that had all of the fun pictures from the auction is not on here.
Oh, I know where that is. Hold on. I
But,
didn't understand it.
no, well, it's because it has a few animation.
I'm gonna unhide it.
So anyways, I'll talk about this one and then we'll go back. Oh, there it is. I don't know who's seeing what. If you're on the Zoom or here in real life, I feel like they're a little different. The Spring Social Auction and Party is May 9th. That is a month from today. So we would encourage everybody to start talking about it, get your class chats buzzing, reserve your babysitters and get your tickets. It's a super fun event. It's from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Carreau Club in Industry City. And it's just a really, really fun time. So there's some pictures, here we go, from last year. And it's just a great chance to do a lot of fundraising. It's our second biggest fundraising event of the year.
You can also
dance.
dance.
Yep, you can dance, you can chat, you can drink, you can do all the fun things. So really just encourage everybody to plan ahead and get your tickets. The other piece.
Hello, I can talk. It's just a PTA meeting.
The other pieces that we're looking for auction donations, especially if you know of any sort of exclusive items or experiences that would be great for the live auction part of the evening, we're interested and excited to add to that point. So there's a really handy dandy place on our auction website where you can go and download a letter and easily send it to people in the neighborhood that you know that you think are willing to make a donation, or, you know, a more personal note, following up with anybody that might have something super fun and exclusive is always welcome as well. The other thing we have going on are some revenue partnerships. The next two that are coming up where tickets are still available are the New York Liberty on June 1st, and then a TBD date on the Cyclones. The other piece that I know, there's a ton going on in May. People have said that before. We did make a handy dandy one-stop shop, one-page website for everybody to find all the information you need about the upcoming things. Don't have a slide on this, but if you Google upcoming events at PS 133, you click on the link that's upcoming events at PS 133, you'll find a list of everything. It has everything from garden work days to the spring musical to tickets for the auction. You name it on there. So we're trying to just make it a little easier to keep track. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Geneva.
Picture day.
No, that happened yesterday.
I know, but I'm still gonna talk.
Oh, okay.
Because we need somebody to take over the picture day
Oh.
committee. This was shouted out last month as well. But we've got parents that are fifth grade, fourth grade. They need to train somebody, so please raise your hand and volunteer for this.
And the people that step up, then we don't get school photos.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no committee, there's no photo, so let's see what we can do.
Great point there, Joelle, and happy to work with anyone who wants to volunteer. The bonus is,
Sit here. Monica left, we talk about our budget. This is how we're doing. You can see what's budgeted versus what we have actualized. As mentioned earlier, our income is budgeted to be 253,000. We're planning to spend about 244,000. We've pulled in $158,000 in revenue so far and only spent 119. This spring is the most expensive part, so don't think that we're getting away. We're gonna cut a bunch of checks for the kids. You can see where we are at with some pending funds. We still have some matching dollars from Spotify that are just hanging out in this fund account. Hasn't been transferred to us yet. And our CD certificate of deposit of 100,000 is earning us interest. That's actually going to mature later this month, so that money will move into our bank account. Got a bunch of things to vote on. So hopefully we have enough people to still vote.
We should have done this at the beginning.
Yeah, do we, can we see how many people are on Zoom?
We've got 19 on.
Okay, great. Okay, we can do it then. Couple of things that are not on the slide. It's the use of the bank card. Every time we want to spend money on the bank card, we have to vote to spend the money on the bank card. That's regulated by the chancellor, DOE. So, point number one is we want to use the bank card for the new round of teacher grants. There's about $2,000, maybe $2,500 worth of budget left to spend it on. It's usually not for the whole amount, actually. It's usually just supplies, purchase on Amazon, that type of thing. So the actual spend will be less than that, but we want to vote to make sure that we can use the debit card for this round of teacher grants. So I'm going to motion to approve that. I'll let somebody
Second that motion.
got a second. And then I'm going to say, is anybody opposed? Please raise your hand if you're opposed. hanging out here for a moment. All right, if you approve, raise some hands. All right, we got a bunch of votes yes in the House. All right, so that one I believe passes. The next is to use this same mentioned debit card to pay for our liability insurance for the PTA. That's about $500-ish. If we go back a couple slides, you can see the actual amount. But I'm going to motion that we approve to use the debit card
Second
for
that.
that purchase. We got a second in-house. Anybody opposed? Cool, who approves? All right, I think we're good. All right, so on to the bullet pointed ones here. I'm gonna try to do all of this in one go, one vote. We're gonna raise our expense budget for these items. So the readathon, we ended up spending $847 instead of 500 for pizza and popsicles and bookmarks and pencils for the kids, right? So I think this is worthy, especially since this whole thing was a fundraiser and a community event. The kids really enjoyed it. The literacy committee, they've had such success this year with getting authors in the building. Each of those authors is $500. They've got another one coming. So we want to be able to pay for the author to come. So that's $500 there. Kids love it. It's great motivator for them to get into books and love books. Spring musical was set at 5,500 last year. We didn't include concession costs. And we'd like to press the zones, yes. That's earthquake data.
Are you quickly reading it?
Yeah.
Oh, that,
We would like to
No doubt.
increase the budget by $200 so we can buy concession items. And how that happens, we have a donation bin, some QR codes, so we make up that money pretty easily. And in fact, our Josh.
Push a button.
So in fact, our budgeted income already accounts for the concession donations that we're gonna get. We just forgot to account for the expense of buying potato chips and juice boxes. So we're asking for $200 there. And since we now have a dance showcase, they will also have a concessions sale. So we would like to have $200 there. And maybe we'll make $100 in donations for that. That one in particular is an evening show, so I can imagine buying like pizza slices and stuff to tide kids over who are probably gonna be bonkers, insane, and hungry at the time. Sort of like movie night. I don't know if anybody's been to a movie night, but I was gonna just say sort of like movie night.
never been.
All of that comes to $1,250 in increased expenses, maybe $100 in revenue. And you can see it's still covered in what we plan on raising. We're still planning on spending less than we're raising this year. So with all that being said, anybody have any questions first off? Any comments on these items? I am going to motion to approve all of these budget items. Great. Anybody opposed? Nobody in the room? Anybody on Zoom? All right, who's in favor? Bunch of yeses. I think we're good.
You can't vote.
You can.
Yeah, he's a grandparent.
No,
Toby,
the bylaws specifically say,
because of his role?
because of his role, even if he has a child in the school, he cannot.
Wow.
The congressional representative.
Maybe he can't be an officer.
He can't be on the.
Can't be an officer. He can't be an officer.
Okay.
Mr. D, I'm pretty sure Mr. D.
He can vote, he just can't be on the board.
You're right, I'm wrong. You're
All right.
you're
I
welcome
think,
to vote.
I think we're done.
All right.
Yeah, we got through it all. Good. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making these votes possible. Did you have anything?
I have a minor update.
Yeah,
A
great.
minor
Justin's got a minor update.
I have a minor update on the speed bump outside of the school. I brought it up to someone on the community board and they passed it along to DOT, but still, we haven't heard anything else about it, so keep throwing requests to the DOT.
It'll be fixed in 2029. Fastball.
Okay. All right, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all.